For generations, the worst among us have contrived to tear our social and political fabric apart to benefit the few over the many. Their intent and mission have been diabolically simple: divide and conquer. And they have been wildly successful. Hi, I'm Michael James Ott, veteran, retired engineer and businessman, and now ambassador and facilitator for the solution to this madness: Citizen Statesmanship. It's a pro and con show brought to you today and every day by Citizen Statesmanship, the cure for what ails us. Welcome to the Pro and Con Show. I'm Michael James Ott.
And I'm Ben McLaughlin, and we're your co-hosts for today's show.
It's important for you to be supporting and spreading the word about our citizen statesmanship effort here. It will be impactful and important. Subscribe or follow our podcast, talk to friends or family or whatever. It is our only chance for brighter tomorrows full of more prosperity and free of hate, fear, and injustice. It is the cure for what ails us. It is the antibiotic for our infections. It is the perfectly targeted chemotherapy for our cancer. It's the miracle pill. Literally is the miracle thing that will cure what has ailed human society for centuries and centuries. And today's topic for Ben and I, we're gonna suit up here and try to get to this one. It's called a term limit of one. A term limit of one. And there's years and years and years and years and years ago. Now, I was talking about what I might do next with a bunch of friends, and I was talking about campaign reforms, election reforms in one form, blah 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 blah. So there was campaign finance reform and gerrymandering reform and and one of the things that people often bring up is term limits.
Definitely need better term limits. Much shorter term limits.
We need term limits, and this is a refrain that is common both in the so-called conservative Republican ranks and in the so-called liberal Democrat ranks. Everyone agrees that unless you happen to be in a district that has the House of Representatives person that's been there for 40 years, then it seems to be okay. You guys. Although there's some number of people it's like even that's too long.
Yes.
But for whatever reason, people get in office. Well, we know the reasons, and we kind of touch on that and how elections work these days here in a few minutes. But oh my goodness, it's not what was intended. It's not what was intended, folks.
Not at all.
It is not what was intended. To be a career politician, this was not intended. This was not intended. And to have the political parties, that was not intended.
Exactly.
And so citizen statesmanship really is a throwback. It really is. It's a throwback to what the people that founded the United States really intended. And really, if you think, because there's many countries around the globe that have like similar ideals about democratic structures, democratic republics, and so on. And their intent also, the people that wrote those documents that formed those countries, was that the people, the extraordinary, ordinary people, would lead themselves. That was the intent.
And I mean, that's what it should be.
That's what it should be.
For, by, and of the people.
But we have gotten way, 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 way far from that.
Yes, we have.
We have gotten way, way, way far from that. So let's talk about our elections and how they're run in our country at the moment. Audience, take a moment, think about what you think about our elections. How happy are you with all the television ads? Literally billions of dollars worth of television ads, attack ads.
Yes.
And they're attack ads. Again, just like Congress does nothing but attack the other side, there is no attempt whatsoever to talk about issues other than, hot button issue, they're evil.
Exactly.
Whatever it is, guns, abortion, immigration,
And I mean,
immigration, they're evil. Immigration, they're evil.
the attack ads, I mean, they have no limit. It's like,
No.
oh, you care about your puppy. Well, this candidate doesn't want you to have a puppy. They hate dogs. And it's like, what? Like, you'll just sit here and see it and be like, really? And then you'll hear the candidate, yes, I'm John Wilson and I approve this message. It's like, wow, okay. Like all of this slander, yeah, I approve this message. Wow. Like, and there's no limit.
There's no limit.
And my thing is, like, why? Why? Like, that doesn't stick out to anyone as being strange, like in an election. If you're trying to tell me that you're the best person, imagine if a job interview went like that. You go up against someone else for a job interview, and when it's your turn to be in the interview room to plead your case for why you're the best fit, you say, oh, well, this guy over here, he drives a red car and I drive a blue one. So you guys would like blue better because red car people think that they're better than everyone else. And it's like, okay, but why are you the best fit though? It's like, oh no, screw this guy. Let's throw him under the bus. But you're still not telling me why you're the best. Like that should be the most important thing. Why are you the best? And back it up with facts. Yeah. Rather than an attack ad, we should see facts on what you're trying to say you can do.
Yeah, but then the other part of it is you're a tiny piece of the government. Mm-hmm. As an individual, you are a tiny piece of the government. And so the reality is, if you're making all these promises, well, I can do this, I can do that, I can do this, it's BS.
Of course, all of it.
It's BS.
Absolutely.
So, you can be arguing that, or you, as Ben was suggesting, you can say, well, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and you see, again, the advertisements themselves, they're chock-a-block full of this kind of stuff, right? I'm going to, I'll stop taxes, I'll do this, I'll do that, or I'll whatever it is, I'll close the border, I'll do this, I'll do it, as individuals. And it ends up being a bunch of boasts and promises that are never fulfilled because and folks, I know, I talk to people, okay? We are extraordinary, ordinary people like you. We talk to people. Mm-hmm. We know how fed up you are with all this stuff.
Absolutely.
And so stop it. This is the Citizen Statesmanship, initiative is we're going to stop it. We're going to finally end this insanity.
We have to.
We're going to get rid of the attack ads. We're going to get rid of the billboards. We're going to get rid of the yard signs. We're going to get rid of all these people, making all these boasts and promises that they can't possibly fulfill. And, but we, need to do that. And we need to stop these career politicians. And everybody agrees with that, especially about the career politicians so-called on the other side of the aisle. Mm-hmm. So the people that identify themselves, and so let me make this statement because I haven't made it yet in this particular podcast, but I'll make sure it's clear. When we talk about, how horrific the Republicans are, the Democrats, we're talking about the Republican leadership and the Democratic leadership.
Absolutely.
We fully acknowledge that there are plenty of extraordinary, ordinary people like us that, because for whatever reasons, mostly a lot of information that has been from generations, their parents, whatever, their co-workers, all kinds of influences, you might identify as being a Republican, or you might identify as being a Democrat, or you might identifying as one of the smaller parties, Ford Party, Alliance Party, Green Party, Libertarians.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, on. But regardless, those things came to you, but you're just mostly just like us. You just happen to be influenced that way. And you've allowed them to label you that way. And they love the fact that you've accepted that label. Because when I start bashing the Republican leadership, and I don't say Republican leadership every single time, I say Republicans, then it's like, oh, wait a second, hey, he's bashing me.
You got to take pride and come to the defense.
And it's no, there's a tiny percentage of our population around the globe, 1 or 2%. These are the narsoles. These are the horrible people. These are the people that lead our political parties. These are the billionaires that control our media outlets. And these are the people that you and I, the extraordinary, ordinary people, by the way, long before you could possibly identify as being a Democrat or a Republican or a Libertarian, you were a member of the EOP, the Extraordinary, Ordinary People. And it's a proud community and a powerful community as long as we stop listening to them divide and conquer.
Exactly.
We have to stop listening to them. So we talked about the term limit of one. So we want to talk about how bad this thing is. The fact that there are these basically lifetime. It's
pretty much lifetime.
We have a list here.
Longer than my lifetime.
We have a list of representatives in the House, and then we also have a list of senators, obviously from the Senate, and how long their tenures were. And so we have a list of the longest tenures. And this is decades and decades and decades. And we're going to talk about, it's the pro and con show. So we're going to talk about the pros and cons of having somebody be tenured forever. And literally, some of them literally were lifetimes. They died in office.
Man.
So,
sheesh.
But, and the other thing that's been happening is the tendency to have lifetime or career politicians has increased over time. So the percentage of these people that are sticking around a long time have increased. So, audience, would you care to guess in the House of Representatives what the record is for the longest tenure in the House of Representatives? So I'll give you a little bit of multiple choice. Was it more than 30 years? Was it more than 40 years? Was it more than 50 years? Ooh. Was it more than 60 years? What do you think? Okay, you've been thinking long enough, or you can pause if you want to really take a guess.
You can leave it in the comments. See how you did.
So on this list, there was a fellow named John Dingell, and he was a Democrat from the state of Michigan, and he was in for 59 years. He left the House in 2015.
Sheesh.
Now, I want to ask you folks, now this fellow was from Michigan. So the people of Michigan, there's probably a fair number of people from Michigan and maybe Wisconsin or some other adjacent state that even recognizes that name.
Wow.
But Ben, and you're paying attention to the news over the years, do you recognize the name of John Dingell?
Not that I can recall, honestly.
I don't. I don't recall him. And we'd be very interested if you, and again, freeequalfair@gmail.com, or comment, if you can comment directly to the videos or to the podcast. Do you remember him?
59 years.
So this is a fellow that spent, by the way, John Dingell Jr.
He was a junior.
He was a junior. So 59 years in the House of Representatives.
That is a long time.
You would think that a person that was in the House of Representatives for our nation, right, from the state of Michigan, especially because, for decades of his time, there was like the big, like GM, right? And Ford and all those guys were in Michigan.
Yeah.
So there was a ton of like the big three automotive manufacturers in Michigan, and their headquarters, I think, at one time, if not still, were in Michigan.
Yes.
And. So you would think
you saw the rise, the fall, and then the re-rise of the big three.
You would think that this name would ring a bell with a fair number of people. But it does not, at least as far as we know, because this is what career politicians do. They go and they spend their time in office. They have a nice office. They get chauffeured around, and of course they have Secret Service protection and stuff like that. And they go back and forth, and they, of course, are constantly raising money.
Always.
Constantly raising money.
Always need money for something.
Constantly promising to, big business, big enterprises, whatever.
Campaign buses for every re-election cycle.
Yeah. And so I'm sure that he made all kinds of promises to Ford and to Chrysler and to GM.
Oh, yes.
Over the years.
Lined a lot of pockets.
To, to manipulate, to get, and of course he made tons and tons of promises to people of Michigan over the years. But it'd be really interesting to know what sort of things of any significance he did in 59 years.
59 years of service in anything, you should have everything that you need to get done.
Yes.
One would expect 59 years, 59 years of just focusing on one thing. That's a lot of time.
59 years is a long time. It's almost as long as I've been alive. It's probably almost twice your lifetime.
Yes.
Probably something, approaching twice your lifetime.
Yeah, it's almost twice. And it's, man, that's just astonishing, to be honest with you.
So we talk about the pro and con show, and I remember having discussions like this some years ago with various people, and they said, well, one of the reasons why you do want to have people get reelected is they get experience, and they're better at forming consensus and stuff like that. But and they're better at like writing legislation. It's these kinds of things, And I'm like, well,
do you need 59 years of experience with that?
I don't think so.
When
honestly.
do we pass on what you learned to the next generation at some point?
I just don't. I'm sorry, but the legislation that these guys write, and I've read, several bills that these guys have written. So one is these days there's a ton of it where the language just comes from the various influencers on them, right? So if there's a bill about medical care, Big Pharma gets in there, and their lawyers
got to sprinkle their little piece.
Sprinkle a bunch of stuff in there. It's like, well, here's how the bill should read, but it's not. Yes, they end up being laws, but the language of the laws generally is fairly simple and generally fairly straightforward unless they intend it to be otherwise. And I'm sorry, it's not like you can't. It's the equivalent of, honestly, it's the equivalent difficulty of when you were a kid and maybe you were in school and they said, well, write a story about, your summer vacation.
I remember those days.
But it's that kind of difficulty. It's that because you can go back, you can look at previous examples, and you can say, okay, this is some other legislation that somebody wrote. This was passed into law. there's my template.
There you go.
And now all I got to do is, well, now I want it to say this. And, it's not hard.
Throw this part in there and that's it.
It's not hard. It's not, you could easily learn everything you need to know how to do your job in, weeks or months at most.
It doesn't take 59 years, that's for sure.
And then from then on, I would argue, at least my personal perception is, from then on, all you learn is how to cheat and steal and
new ways to hide and embezzle money.
And hide, embezzle, influence things in ways that aren't transparent and open to the people.
Mm-hmm.
Instead you're doing these backroom deals and things.
Backroom deals, under the table payoffs.
And you're getting, whatever stuff out of those things. And the evidence for this, and again, this is the amazing thing. We talked in one of the previous shows about dual or alternate realities. Mm-hmm. So it's amazing how many people, the so-called rank and file, the average people that are in like the Republican Party, and they point to the long-term leaders of the Democratic Party and the various elected officials, the people with 30, 40, 50 years in office. Well, they're multimillionaires over and over and over and over and over again.
Their money, that's fishy.
Yes, and and they're right. Mm-hmm. But guess what? The Democrats are looking at the Republicans
and saying
the exact same, and they're right too.
Exactly.
This is these guys. They spend the time, and all it is it becomes opportunities. They have insider information.
Exactly.
Congress controls the purse strings. And they have insider information on how the government, the federal government, is trying to spend billions of dollars. Mm-hmm. And when you have insider information, then, someone may want you to spend those billions of dollars in a certain way, and they can send you on vacations. They can,
you look a little tired. Why don't you take my yacht?
Yes.
And think about it. Think about the benefits of being on my side.
Yes. It just goes on and on and on. All the slimy little back
door. Your son wants to be an engineer? Well, we have a development program. Just bring him on in and see how he likes it.
Yes, exactly. We can take care of all your family members. We can take care of your friends. We can take care of your... And it just goes on and on and on. So the House was Mr. Dingell at 59 years. And then there's been 4 other people that had 50 years or more. Man. And then a bunch of people that had close to 50 years. So another 5 or 6 that had close to 50 years. A bunch at 45. Honestly, though, when you look through that list, do you recognize names on that list? House of Representatives, these people, the number 20 on the list for our audience is a guy named C.W. Bill Young. He was a Republican from Florida. And he was in the House for about 43 years, and he left in 2013. So this is about 12 or 13 years ago. When you look through that list, do you recognize anybody?
I don't.
There's only one guy I recognize. There was a guy from Texas. His name was Sam Rayburn. And I seem to remember him being on the news a fair amount years and years and years ago. And I know that the people of Texas have names, of course, they have to. Narsoles have to have highways.
Things named after them.
They have to have things. So there's some Rayburn highways and stuff in Texas. But honestly, I'm sitting here looking through this and just thinking, really? All these people with decades
I mean,
of service in a national body.
In the world of citizen statesmanship, where the government is ruled by the people, anybody who has contributed, and not in any single office, but contributed 50 plus years of service to their community, we should be able to know their names and be able to point to the achievements and what they contributed to society. No one should be able to just sit here. I mean, it's like George Washington. No one has to think about who that is, or we've all heard of him. We all know what he did. The fact that these people gave more years of service than George Washington did, and we have no idea what they did, I mean, that's saying something. That that's saying a lot that they did nothing.
It's, I mean, of course, they may not have done absolutely nothing, but the fact that they haven't done anything of significance, that again, that's a long freaking time.
Something significant and lasting, impactful.
You would think that there would be the Dingle bill or the Dingle law or something
that is just referred to as a pivotal moment in our society, and no.
No. So then we turn to the senators, and these, because the senators it's a much smaller group. It's only 100 of them, as opposed to 435 people in the House. And because of that, senators have a tendency to get more famous. So, audience, do you think the number one on the list for Senate had a longer career than Mr. Dingle Jr. or shorter? You're guessing what? Flip a coin. Which way do you think it is?
And let us know in the comments for sure.
And the answer is shorter. Okay. So the senator that had the longest tenure was Robert Byrd. And that's a name I recognize from the Senate. 51 years.
Wow.
51 years. So that was 8 plus terms in the Senate. He was on his way to 9 terms in the Senate.
Man.
6-year terms. This Daniel, and I'm not even going to pronounce his name, Inouye, I think it is. Anyway, he's from Hawaii. He's still there. He's been around forever. You see him every once in a while. Pat Leahy, okay. Strom Thurmond.
No Strom Thurmond.
Okay, we're here in South Carolina. So,
definitely no Strom Thurmond.
But Strom Thurmond was also, national. He was in the news on a regular basis. Mm-hmm. So Strom was 47, almost 48 years. And then you had Ted Kennedy. Mm-hmm. He was famous. Obviously, the Kennedy family.
Of course.
So almost 47 years. Chuck Grassley, he's still around. I think he's still running. I think he's running again. I think he's like 80. He's like 88 years old.
Just going to keep going for
89 years old or something. He's way old, and he's still going.
Has no idea what it's like to be in society, working and contributing at this point in time.
Mm-hmm. And then, so Orrin Hatch is number 7 on the list, 42 years. This John C. Stennis, now in the Navy, they named some warship after him. Mm-hmm. Mitch McConnell, okay, Mitch is still out there. He's well past he's well past his prime, but he's still there. Republican from Kentucky, 40 years in county.
Hanging in there.
Ernest Hollings, I remember that name, again from South Carolina. Mm-hmm. Fritz Hollings, yeah. Let's see here.
Oh, Joe Biden.
And Joe Biden, number 19 on the list. So Joe was in the Senate for over 36 years.
Man.
And then Richard Lugar, that's another guy. I remember I grew up in Illinois, and he was in the adjacent state of Indiana. I think that's why I remember him. He was in for 36 years. And so on. So what we're saying with the Citizen Statesmanship Initiative is the term limit should be 1.
Yes.
That whatever benefits that might be acquired from having more than 1 term are far outweighed by the benefits of having only 1.
Mm-hmm.
And because, again, so a couple of things. So one is, and I talked to my sister about some of this stuff years ago, 3 or 4 years ago. And as I was talking to her, she goes, why is it even a full-time thing? Our country is over 200 years old.
Exactly.
Aren't most of the laws written? And the answer is yes. They are. And there's, really not a lot of change.
It's not.
And they prove it every single day, folks watching or listening out there. They prove it every single day because they don't come up with new legislation unless it's legislation, pointing the finger at the other party. But as far as actual answers, solutions, innovations,
nothing. Oh, no.
Nothing.
Can't innovate anything.
No.
Leave it the way that it was if it works in our advantage.
Well, and what works to their advantage is they have, a couple handfuls of hot button issues that they intentionally don't try not to resolve.
You can't fix anything.
Because both the Democrats and the Republicans, the worst amongst them, the leaders, not you normal people, but the people that you follow, they intend this because then they are well served by you being distracted. And that's why both the Republicans and the Democrats make bank.
Lots
of bank in political office. They both do. And so again, wake up and smell the coffee. If you think it's only the other party, no, you just are, you're living in an alternate reality. The truth is, look it up. These people actually, they do have their disclosures, their financial disclosures. And it's public record.
You can go and look it up.
You can go back and look. Well, let's see now. This guy started 48 years ago in the Senate. And how much was he worth back then?
Very simple.
$50,000, $20,000. What's he worth now? Oh, $98 million.
Where did you get $98 million?
And his salary every year is like $160,000 a year. Where'd you get $98 million? I wonder where that came from.
Oh, well, you listen to them tell it. Oh, he was a smart investor.
Yeah.
He handled his money really well.
I made, well, it's again, insider information. It's great. It's easy to make great investments when you have the information.
Especially when you're about to write the law that's about to put a whole industry out of business.
Yes. Or put a whole industry in business.
Exactly. Like, now's the time to invest in this.
And this goes, and it goes on and on and on and on and on. And so this is the term limit of 1. The term limit of 1. This will greatly help get rid of you talk about clearing the swamp or wanting to move the mountains. That will do it. And these, again, they don't need to be full-time.
No.
My sister came up with this, like, why do they even need to? They don't. And I personally certainly envision that, okay, if Ben here was elected as a local representative to the House of Representatives in Washington, well, he's that, but he could almost certainly keep his current job. His employer might have to give a little bit of, but this is normal. This is like if you're in the military and you're in the reserves.
National Guard.
Like, yes. Then the employers and any employer of any good reputation will say to their employees, well, if you have to be gone for public service for 2 weeks, well, it's not a problem. Your job will be here when you get back.
We'll be here when you get back.
And most of those employers will make sure that if your compensation is, lower in like jury duty, they usually will say, well, we'll just pay your regular salary. So even though you're at jury duty, but in this case,
still get paid.
In this case, if you're, in the House of Representatives or in the Senate, you're very often making more than a whole lot of extraordinary, ordinary people. So you're actually getting a pay bump.
Exactly.
Which, okay, cool, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you do that for a couple of years, and then you're done. And all of the things, the attack ads, the yard signs, the raising all the money, kissing the butts of all kinds of business owners and stuff, it all goes away. It's all
Don't
gone.
need it. Don't need it.
And we're just gonna do the best you can. That's all anybody can ask, and the best that you can do as an extraordinary, ordinary person who's reasonable, compassionate, honest, fair-minded.
Yes.
Any of you are going to be infinitely better than the narsoles who are irresponsible, superficial, charming, pathological lying.
Yes.
Right?
Much better. I mean, we wouldn't have one person with the power to start a war just for their distraction. Now it would literally be for the betterment and to the agreement of our people.
Yeah.
When we go and we do things like that, how we interact with the rest of the world, the message that we send will be clear. Like, we are a nation of, free and equal and fair people. And we should make decisions as such. We're not a bully. We're not the world's police force. We are here first and foremost to protect the liberties and freedom of our own people. And if we decide that it's necessary for us to help out somewhere else, then we as a people make that decision. Not one person who wants their name written down in the history books, as we've seen in the previous wars that we've been involved in.
Yeah. Yeah, we will take back we'll take back that authorization to declare war, which it says clearly in the Constitution. Mm-hmm. But for decades now, executive branches, the presidents of the United States for decades have done various non-declared wars. Mm-hmm. But and again, and it's all, and a big part of it is, and I've heard many people say this to me over time. Well, it's the whole defense complex, that they're all, it's all intertwined, and they're doing it because they want, to spend more money on weapons and things because of this churn. And this is, again, if you look at Senator so-and-so or Representative so-and-so, and they've been in office for 30 years and they're worth, $50 million or $100 million, that's where it came from.
Yes.
That's where it came from. Mm-hmm. They've been, greasing the skids and doing all this stuff and allowing the president to, have these non-declared wars because it's part of the complex that fills their drawers full of gold.
Yes. And
it's, oh gosh, and all the suffering so that these handfuls of people, and by the way, the extraordinary, ordinary people, do the people from the House of Representatives or the Senate, they strap on a helmet and a gun and go over there and fight?
I don't know. I do believe that one of our representatives did just say, "Oh, I'm going back to ask them to send their sons and daughters overseas." It's like, wait, what? What about your sons and daughters, sir?
No. It's terrible. Mm-hmm. They take so much of the money, and then they take our lives, both literally and figuratively. Literally sometimes because they send us to war. And then other times it's just they've taken the best part of our lives. They've taken away the joy. They've taken away the freedom from hate, fear, and injustice. Mm-hmm. In fact, they inject it because that's how they distract. That's how they divide and conquer. The story is the same.
Too much peace is bad for business when it comes to them.
Too much peace, and on a political scale, they divide it. They're intentionally, halvesies, because if you get too much power one side or the other, then a lot of the argument goes away. The war can't function if it's an 80-20 House of Representatives.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's 50-50 plus or minus a few seats, the war can go on gloriously.
Continuously,
gloriously.
What the objective was.
And they just keep spinning the same stories and pointing the fingers and dividing and conquering. And us extraordinary, ordinary people, we got to wake up. we got to wake up. This is it. So we're writing down the show. Again, we are volunteers, ambassadors for a better tomorrow. Join us. Join us. Join us. You can be an ambassador for this too. We're making these videos so you don't have to, or podcasts. You can just direct people to our videos, direct people to our podcast. Just say, hey, go listen to these people. They say what I want to say. Just go listen. They've already done it. They've done the work for me.
Just to spark the conversation. Send it to a buddy. Say, hey, check this out. Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
Come talk to us about it. Let's see what you think. Let's hear your input. You may have some really good viewpoints that we may not have thought about.
Yes.
It's a discussion.
And I'm sure some of you do, for sure. Mm-hmm. So go ahead and write in freeequalfair@gmail.com. But join us. Become an ambassador for citizen statesmanship. It is the cure for what ails us. Mm-hmm. And if you really care about anything or anyone in your life, citizen statesmanship is the answer. And you should be talking about it each and every day. So, Ben, our next show is going to be great. It's called Democracy 2.0. So join us for Democracy 2.0, won't you?
Goodbye for now.
Bye for now.